Well, good morning, technically. We have 5 minutes left in the morning. What a day. Every day. I've said this, I think, last week or sometime. Every day with this administration, there's a thing. This presidency is aging us all 10 years. Okay, so in case you haven't heard already, I'm sure you already have, Don Lemon got arrested in LA last night. He got arrested for doing the reporting on that situation at the church in Minneapolis earlier this week. And I guess, the first time around, the judge found, like, this is bullshit. But I guess they found some Trump lackey to drum up something. And then another few thousand pages of the Epstein files were released. And then somebody, like, every fucking day, there's a thing. Every fucking day, there's a thing. So I'm getting to record Scott Galloway's weekly newsletter, No Mercy, No Malice, as we speak. And I'm sitting here actually looking at my script here, reading the draft of Scott's post, No Mercy, No Malice. Let me see if it's technically out in the wild yet. It might not even be. No, not yet. But Scott's newsletter for this week, his No Mercy, No Malice, is about what we can do as Americans, consumers, voters, in the wake of feeling powerless, because we kind of all can feel pretty powerless with this. And Scott's gist is resist and unsubscribe. I'm not going to really sort of give you too much of a summary. I'll put the link to the article in the notes for this episode of the George Hahn Show. And it's at profgalloway.com. And basically what Scott is saying is that, while we feel powerless in the wake of everything that's going on, the killings of Alex Preddy and Renee Good, and just the extremely aggressive, heavily armed to the teeth presence of ICE in Minnesota and now Maine and other places, there is something that we can do. And I have to admit that I had not wrapped my head around this until Scott brought it up on Pivot. Today's Pivot, if you listen to Pivot with Scott and with Kara Swisher, you would have heard this pitch. I reposted it in my Instagram because the Pivot podcast posted a reel about it, about something we can do, which is literally unsubscribe. And what does that mean? I said this yesterday. I've said this all week about Trump. There is no empathy there. He doesn't have the capacity for that. What does Trump respond to? Markets. And, Taco, Trump always chickens out. Taco Trump, or as Jennifer Welch calls him, Taco Tit, Cankles McTaco Tits, Kanks. When the markets respond to something that Trump did, he will pull back. So what can we do? Unsubscribe from the tech companies that sort of run the shit. If you go to, and Scott just launched this website today, it's very important. I will put the link up to this as well. Go to resistandunsubscribe.com. You can do it right now. You can do it after I'm done talking here, but go to resistandunsubscribe.com. And Scott puts forth this really smart toolbox for us here. They are subscription-driven consumer tech companies that have identified as having outsized influence over the national economy and our president. And they include Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft, and Paramount Plus. And what you can do specifically with regards to those companies and where you can unsubscribe. I've done a lot of these already, which is great. I unsubscribed from Amazon Prime going on a year and a half ago. I have not bought anything from Amazon in coming up on 500 days. 500 days. Meta, Uber, Netflix, OpenAI, X. Scott does say here, like, we could boycott Instagram. We would boycott Instagram too if we could, but we need it to get the message out. So, do it. Cut it where you can, kind of like sugar. Cut it where you can. And he's not asking for, like, this isn't permanent. This is for the month to send a message. This is something that empowers us with economic brass knuckles, right? Here are consumer-facing companies that are active enablers of ICE. All right, AT&T, Comcast, Charter, Dell, FedEx, Home Depot, and Lowe's, Marriott, Spotify. Although Spotify does not run ICE recruitment ads anymore, I don't think. I got to check with Scott on that. And UPS. So just go to, this is all at resistandunsubscribe.com. This is not a suggestion that you unsubscribe from all of these things. You do it where you can. And it's not forever either. Unsubscribe for a month or two. Let's make February a blackout and a real punch in the nuts to these companies. So just go to resistandunsubscribe.com. I'll put the notes for that. Again, in the notes for this episode when I'm done. I have to jump off here because I have to go over the text for this afternoon's recording. I am recording the audio for Scott's weekly newsletter, No Mercy, No Malice, as I do every Friday. My, what do they call it? My standing appointment to record is usually 12:30 every Friday, and then I record it, and then the talented team at Prop G Media edits together an episode and drops it into your podcast feeds for the Saturday morning, for your Saturday morning listening pleasure. So also, and I talked about Don Lemon, right? Yeah. And also I'm sharing this with you, and you guys share it with your friends. I mean, everybody do this. And Scott is also saying, in addition to unsubscribing for this stuff, when you do it on your phone or if you do it on your computer, thank you, Susan. Yes, I do have hot water. I was going to get to that. When you do unsubscribe to these things, take a screenshot of it, make a video, take a photo, post it on Instagram. Take a screenshot or make a video of the things of your unsubscribe efforts and share it with everybody. And then they will, hopefully you'll inspire, if you inspire one person to do some unsubscribe from these companies, you'll help a lot of people. So get to that. And it's something that we can do as consumers starting now, like right now. Do it right now. I fully support this little mini blackout we're doing for the day. Yes, it's 24 hours of a shutdown, like don't go to work and shutting down businesses. It makes for really great cable news, and it's a cool Instagram story, but it's not even a drop in the bucket. It's not going to really put a dent in anything. What's going to put a dent in something and what is going to make a difference is when you start to affect the bottom line, when you make an impact on the revenues from these companies, of these companies. So, yeah. First, we must recognize that the president is unfazed by citizen outrage, the courts, or the media. He responds to one thing: the market. The most potent weapon to resist the administration is a targeted, month-long national economic strike, a coordinated campaign that attacks tech companies and firms enabling ICE to inflict maximum damage with minimal impact on consumers, us. So maximum damage to the administration and Homeland Security, and minimal impact on us. Excuse me. Sneeze. In sum, the shortest path to change without hurting consumers is an economic strike targeted at the companies driving the markets and enabling our president. Okay. And you want to know more about that, go to resist and unsubscribe right now. And that's where we can make a difference. This is important stuff, you guys. I can't I woke up this morning and saw the notification about Don Lemon and how he got arrested in LA. They're going after the press. All right. So we're kind of in a code red here. Sad that he only cares about economic growth. Listen, true story. What turned things around when things shut down in the the first half of 2020 during the pandemic wasn't the body count. It was the effect on markets. So, sorry. That's capitalism under Trump. Someone asked, do I have hot water? Yes. Thank you guys for asking. I woke up this morning to find hot water coming out of my faucet. So that was a huge relief. I went to the gym again yesterday. I forgot how much I enjoy a sauna. We have a sauna at my gym. And I figured since I'm going over there to get a hot shower, I might as well, take advantage of the sauna. And I used to sit in the sauna for like 30 minutes. I can't, it's just like, that's too long. That was also 20 years ago. But as I understand it, a good sit in the sauna for maybe 15 minutes max, more like between 11 and 12 minutes, but 15 minutes max. It's good for you. It's really good for the cardiovasculars. So if you've got that, go for it. But yes, I wasn't. My gym gets really crowded after work hours, which was a pain in the ass, and it was the only time I could get over there. Yesterday, I went to the gym at like 6:15 p.m. Dumb. Like the locker room at my gym is so fucking small. You cannot turn around without literally bumping your ass into somebody. And in the wintertime, it's particularly tricky because you got boots on and you're trying to, you're taking off layers and you elbow someone as you're taking off. It's awful. So, I fully recognize that this is kind of a luxury problem. But it is a pain in the ass to have single digit weather, to have to walk several blocks in single digit weather just so I can have a hot shower in an apartment that I'm paying full market rate, like full ticket price market rate for. Like, what the fuck? So it sucks. Anyway, back to more important issues. Yes, I have hot water. That is important to me. And the stress that got lifted is noticeable. But anyway, I got to get ready to record this week's No Mercy, No Malice, which is all about resist and unsubscribe. And you can find that at profgalloway.com. And also do not forget to go to resistandunsubscribe.com. No punctuation, dashes in there, nothing. Resistandunsubscribe.com. Can't stress it enough. Everything Scott talks about here makes real sense. And it's something that we, as citizens who are feeling powerless, can do collectively and hopefully perhaps make a difference. And it's not forever. This is just for like 30 days. Let's just punch hard and all do it for 30 days to show tech CEOs who are really running this shit what we can do. All right. I got to go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. For those of you listening on a podcast platform, be it Spotify or Apple Podcasts, this is hosted at my Substack. I do not have any paywalls around my content, so you are all free to enjoy the fucking sirens, man. I've had more sirens this morning. And they're all ambulances. Like 4, and it's not even noon. It's just 12:10. I've had at least 4 or 5 sirens, ambulances go by. Having a bit of a crisis in New York City on the Upper West Side this morning. Anyway, for those of you who are subscribing to my Substack, I am so grateful. Thank you so very much. To those of you who are paid subscribers and understand that this only continues if it can be supported, I thank you very much. I am going to have guests on the podcast at some point. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm just getting my bearings with the whole new Substack thing and getting a good footing, and I'm getting there. I really like it here, by the way. And let's see. Lisa Weissman posted a comment here. I'm going to read it to you guys. Washington Post did a great article on the 29th, that's yesterday, about all the tech companies that are selling surveillance type products, services. Yeah. So more resources that you can choose to not support. But for our purposes, for the month of February, unsubscribe. I pulled out of Apple Music. I pulled out of some, what's that Apple supporting Apple Care services. I pulled out of the health app. I pulled out of, did Senate block funding for DHS and ICE? You're going to have to go to the newspaper to look at that. I don't know, Susan. Might find it at the New York Times. I think they did, but I'm not the guy for that. But yeah, that's, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I got a lot going on here. So, thank you guys for, subscribing and for your monetary subscriptions, especially. It really does make a difference. And let's keep love alive. All right. I love you guys. Talk to you later.